during the debate. The opposition side have been sticking to the rights of the people. We have given a legislation that would give a chance to prevent things like dictatorship to happen. The alternatives that we have given were enough and were concrete. Like the punishments that we have said were bigger and more harsher, and the effect is, as we believe, is better than just killing the person instantly, Mr. Ash. And also, that we were also talking about the rights of the people. We considered not just what happened during the past, but also we're considering the right of the people, because the person has also rights, Mr. Ash. And also, the government side has only been considering the rights of the citizen and have been repeatedly stating that these government politicians no longer have rights when the rights are already offered to. But Mr. Adj, even a crazy person has a right and has given and the people around him gives him the right to also live and to have the chance to change and to be cured. So if like a crazy person and a politician who has committed a sin, it's just the same, Mr. Adj. So we should give that politician the chance to change and the chance to make a better future. And also, and we believe that we have done our best and explained that our legislation is better than our legislation. That we have done our best and explained our legislation is better than alternative than the government side. As we asked about the government, as been said, we are in opposition with that we are not saying that we don't care about other people's rights. We're just also saying that politician has also rights and must also be considered, because that politician is also human, Mr. Aj. And that is why we oppose.
Thank you so much. Finally, end this round. Let's discuss the government.
Mr. Speaker, side affirmative doesn't want children to lose their fathers. We also don't want brothers to lose their brothers. And we also don't want any other people losing anyone else. But in the same breath, what we also don't want is that millions of people's lives are held hostage because of the procedural justice that side opposition wants to establish in its debate. Because every second that we spend that is unresponded to is every second where an individual in that particular country spends each waking moment living in fear and living in prejudice on the very fact that in one way or another, his life may get compromised within the process. This debate was never about procedural justice, and neither was it about vindictive justice. It was about immediate justice. Justice for the victims of human rights abuses on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remind the other side of three important life lessons why we think this debate falls for side affirmative. The first life lesson is always listen to the context of the debate. Because we think that side opposition was unable to really grasp what context this debate was about. The context wasn't about countries which have operative judicial systems. Because obviously, if this were set anywhere else, like for example the Philippines, the we think systems like impeachment or any other system, like for example, the idea of legislation on their side may work. Because this is something that, sadly, even our whip wasn't able to respond to, was the fact that legislation can only work if you have three criteria. Like first is that, for example, if all branches of government operate to check and balance each other. That's the reason why you have the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative. But this kind of context isn't present in today's debate. We're talking about dictatorships. We're talking about regimes who have centralized their power onto one person. So for their policy to succeed, they had to respond to the idea that if ever legislation does happen, what makes them sure that this kind of person is willing to submit himself to the law? But even in cases where he does submit himself to the law, what makes us guarantee that the judges he installed are the judges that will look into this situation in an objective manner? We think that that kind of situation isn't happening on the ground, and that's why we say that the context of this debate is is about immediate relief of justice. It's about providing for some degree of solution to eradicate the perpetual violence that is happening on the ground as well. The second life lesson is being responsive. We don't think that opposition was quite responsive in this debate. Like the idea, for example, their argument about they're probably going to have much harsher sentences because it's probably going to torture the leader more. We don't think this is beside the point. Because we may agree that living a life in jail is sadly much more worse than getting killed. But the point is, this debate was about responding to the issue of expediency. Which policy is able to give justice much faster? So we say their version of the trial is not responsive to the context that we talked about in this debate. So in that life lesson, they obviously failed. The last thing is always argue on mutual exclusivity. Because mutual exclusivity is quite important in any kind of debate for you to establish a degree of advantage. What were the non-mutually exclusive arguments that they gave out? The first is the argument of justice. We don't think that they were able to establish at all that justice is much better on their side. Because obviously this is not something that was contested in this debate. And neither were they able to really argue their harm of procedural justice, especially when side affirmative was able to respond and say, look, that's beside the point. We want a policy that is able to respond to the situation as fast as possible. So we think because we stood for what was right, and because we think we stood for the more important issues in this debate, like the idea of how we're able to put these kinds of people into the thrones of the law, and how we're able to establish and restore the human dignity of many more millions of people on the ground, we think quite clearly government took this debate.